Communication has a classic theory called diffusion of innovations. In 1962, an American scholar named Everett M. Rogers gave a clear explanation of it. Once people thought communication was like the sun in the sky and folks below. When the sun rose, everyone felt the sun's glow. People tend to ignore the cost and sequence involved in spreading info. But to Rogers, spreading new things, info and ideas is like queuing for tickets. Some check in first, others later in line. So today, Yiran will tie in my long-term observations on the smart electric vehicles from 2015 to 2025, these past 10 years, discuss this diffusion of innovations in detail. A lot of today's happenings in the car world can be explained by this theory for inspiration too. If we keep comparing innovation to queuing up, then the front of the line is innovators, 2.5%, a small group. Next up are the quick followers, making up 13.5%. Then come the early majority, late majority, and finally 16% of the laggard. If we turn these circles showing sizes into a curve, you'll see it looks much like a normal distribution. If we take the rate folks adopt each moment and integrate it, you'll get another curve entirely. This means new things come to this world, from 0% market share to full 100% penetration.
This midline, the point where market penetration hits 50%.
It's the dividing line between early and late majority. Now in China, our EV penetration rate has just reached the late majority stage. Nordic countries are ahead of us. Some, like Norway, have already reached the stage of the conservative adopters. China's left side is EU REIS, whose EV adoption rates today are roughly at the early majority stage. It seems. Then to the left are countries lagging in EV growth, like the Philippines, where Iran is now, or Indonesia. They're still in that fast follower stage of the curve. Let us draw this classic normal curve once again to focus on China's market evolution over the past 10 years. This innovator came to China's market. I think it was Tesla's Model S in 2014, alongside Nissan's Leaf of that era and BYD's first EVs like the BYD Qin DM. They mark the start of innovation in China's market scene. So the next second phase, I think, began around the year 2020. Early NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto users, Tesla Shanghai made the BYD Han, then the following Zeekr 001 model. They marked the start of early followers. I myself got my first EV here, the Polestar 2 launch edition, in this very phase of things. In truth, I should have bought a car in the prior phase, but ran into some special situations. This was the phase where electric cars as a topic were sexiest, most unique, and most alluring in the media. At that time, NIO, XPeng, and the Li Auto all hit billions, while Tesla soared skyward, and BYD led the pack with a commanding lead. The public consensus then was that EV's landscape was pretty much set. All the old guard were too slow to pivot, destined to become Nokia. These Xiaomi, Huawei can't quench thirsty. They came too late. These folks just don't grasp the diffusion of innovations well enough. The third phase then hit early mainstream users. In China, I think this showed up in 2022, a year with two events that stuck out to me. The first event was ED1's exit, with L789 making its debut. Shang, as the founder, publicly explained this diffusion of innovations himself. He keenly realized that between the pre and post third phase of early majority, there's a chasm where user needs differ completely. This shift from Li 1 to the L789 models really embodies that core philosophy well. So the L789 Li Auto's product back then wasn't as cutting edge as Tesla NIO or XPeng's offerings. Its choice of specs, its styling picks, and its sizing considerations all showed a strategy to better appeal to mainstream users. So what happened? The Li L789 shone brightly. Even I underestimated this product line's power. Another thing that left a deep impression on me was when Lincoln Co. 08 launched in autumn 2023. Well, back then, Lincoln Co. was branded by many as a gas-powered car brand, seen as not a new force at all. Traffic-wise, compared to NIO, XPeng, and the Auto, or even Tesla, it lagged by 1 or 2 orders. But when Link & Co. 08 hit the market, it quickly hit 10K sales a month, outselling most auto startups back then.
In fact, Link & Co. is the first Chinese brand to open car stores inside shopping malls. The first Chinese brand to use pure digits in naming, and also the first to target global markets right from its birth. You could call it a seasoned auto startup with depth or a veteran player with a fresh auto startup vibe.
Well, in my view, the L series and the Lynk & Co 08 can both sell well for similar underlying reasons. In 2022, I interviewed and surveyed many early mass market users. Their traits were cautious yet eager. They like new tech and ideas that have been somewhat proven, but don't want things to be exactly like they were yesterday. So the old Li Auto L789 and the then Lynk & Co 08 fit right into their taste and desires. This powertrain can run on gas or electric. A big leap in new tech use, yet not overly radical. In pricing within their niche markets, they still show decent value for the money. In terms of pricing within their respective niche markets back in 2022, they both seemed quite cost-effective compared to some of their competitors. So now it's autumn of 2025, and I think right now we're in the early phase of the late majority stage in China. So the needs of these late majority users, in fact, don't differ in kind from the early majority. It's a gradual shift. So comparatively, the urge to chase the new has lessened, while the need for stability has grown a bit stronger. Compared to the last phase, exactly 3 years passed. These 3 years saw the Lynk & Co 08 model evolve from Gen 1 to Gen 2. Its base price, which once started around 200K, now kicks off at about 160K. I think the timing of this launch, the update strategy, and the pricing figure chosen all align quite well with how user needs have shifted in this stage. So today I've chosen it as a featured case study for this program. In fact, the final stage is the 16% of conservatives. You might often hear folks exclaim in daily life, "It's 2025 now, how come you're still doing X 2020? Meaning that this new thing has been around for so long now, so everyone should have heard of it, seen it, and accepted the new idea, tech, or product. Well, that's rare to see. Innovation spreads, it takes time. Why should everyone turn with you at the same exact hour? If a society doesn't push with strong promotion, the staying power and size of the conservative crowd far outlast most folks' expectation. For instance, in Japanese society, many new key button phones are still sold. In Europe, credit card payments remain widespread. Take the Philippines, for instance. Cash is still the main way folks transact there. New tech has long arrived, yet old things don't need to be erased right away, for sure. Let's draw again that classic normal distribution curve. If we look left to right across here, the shift in traits through these 5 stages, you can spot a clear main thread quite easily. The more left you go, the more unique and novel it is. The more right, the more mainstream and safe. Changes in user needs surely shape product forms and features. Well, look at smartphones back in those days. The early smartphone manufacturers, they chased uniqueness and innovation so hard. To satisfy innovators and early adopters' cravings, the phone market then became a riot of variety and flair. There were full keyboards, touch screens, three slabs, flip tops, slide-out covers, rectangles, squares, oval shapes, and even candy bar styles too. You'd find it hard to fathom. There were ones for daily charging or even monthly charging, and music-focused phones too. There were cameras-focused phones, gaming phones, rugged ones, and ultra-thin models too, with Windows operating system, Android system, iOS, Symbian OS, and so on and so forth. But by 2014, when the iPhone 6 was launched to the world, most smartphones across the whole industry began converging to a very similar form, that is, an iPhone-like form. Some phone enthusiasts miss those days of vibrant diversity, when that era was truly amazing. But more mainstream users will embrace the dominant product form, since only form convergence can boost usage, efficiency, and performance. Higher used car residual value and liquidity. More sense of security. Smart electric vehicles are just semi-early on all sorts of ideas. Tesla tried battery swaps, tried supercars, tried winged doors, tried bulletproof steel-bodied cars. But in the end, Tesla's best-selling cars were two plainest and most unremarkable models. BMW tried carbon fiber, while XPeng had a camera sticking out from the roof like a periscope that could rotate all around. XPeng tried scissor doors too, right? Polestar showed a design where a drone could take off from the rear of the car. And Li Auto tried a 1+1 Ultra compact coupe. Little EV Denza put 3 motors on a not-so-expensive model, that's for sure. So Tesla, NIO, and Rowo tried vertical big screen setups. Faraday Future, Mercedes-Benz, and Li Auto all tested the one-box ultra-low drag design as well. But what exactly is the mainstream, refined EV design we see dominating the market today? I've summed it up in 3 key traits. Point 1 is body type. This body style is just old wine in new bottles. The car's large proportions, stance and sweeping lines are nearly identical to classic gas cars from last century. What's changed? The details, not the shape. The steering wheel, throttle pedal, brake pedal, tire placement, seat mounting, none differ from the past in essence. Sizes are nearly identical too. When it comes to our top-selling segment globally and in China is the mid-size SUV. Take today's Tesla Model Y, the new Lincoln 08, and past Volkswagen Tiguan or Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, for example. Have their body shapes really changed at all? Over the past decade, the popular media talk and spokespersons mainly addressed innovators and fast followers, right? So they always stress how times are changing, new species arrive, tech transforms. But the question is, think about history told a Xu Zhiyuan's favorite beauty like Gao Yuanyuan versus Xu Zhimo's beloved beauties a century past. Do their figures and faces differ in any essential way? The second key point of product focus is the smart cockpit with a central horizontal touch screen.
Take a look at Flying Moto. My first encounter with this system was over 3 years ago, testing the first Lynk & Co. 08 model. That was in Zhuhai, I think, where I first got to experience its smart car system up close. That surely left a deep impression then. Since back then we thought Tesla could do car OS well, auto startups did it well, and Huawei could do it well too. But traditional automakers seemed way behind in this game from the start. Flying Moto is the traditional automaker I saw turn to car OS, doing it best then and catching up fastest with new trends.
Today's new models on sale, no matter how many screens you have or how many rows of seats you pack in, voice tech, how well you've done with visual tracking and such, whether you've nixed the gauges or used HUD or far and hypervision display. The core of this smart cockpit is a touchscreen at the center of the car's interior, landscape-oriented like the Tesla Model Y, like the second Lincoln Co. 08. The third point in this product form is a robust, potent, intelligent driving assistance system with strong potential for growth. This strength means your smart driving's core chip must be strong and mainstream. The chip must be strong and mainstream. With this chip, the software ecosystem and upstream-downstream suppliers, partners will be more reliable. Sustainability and scalability could be much better. So what does having potential mean? Well, your hardware's computing power must be strong. The smart ADAS software written for this hardware must also be able to get OTA updates non-stop. To keep the software OTA in, either the automaker has strong in-house R&D capabilities, or you pick a reliable supplier who's got the resources and track record. Enough resolve, enough drive to keep iterating for you. This time I test drove Gun2 Lynk & Co. 080. Its chip is NVIDIA Drive Thor, latest model with over 700 TOPS compute power. That's more than enough. Its software experience I've tried shows a huge leap from Hangzhou-based old ADAS. I think it's a true qualitative shift from before, no doubt about it. This is me driving this car from Shanghai to Suzhou. On the way there, I drove manually to test the car's mechanical chops. On the return trip, since test plates can't go on highways, I had to take the national highway. So I tested if it could handle the more complex national highway scenarios versus highways. Turns out, I almost never had to take over.
On the way there, the nose performance on the highway was a huge leap compared to the previous Lynk & Co. 08 I test drove. The previous version used a plan with some supplier partner, and its capabilities were pretty basic L2 driving assist. After an OTI update was done, it gained some expanded highway capabilities like signaling to change lanes. Yeah, and automatic lane changes too. But now this car on the highway, its driving assist ability, I think it's already in the top tier now. The highway features are very mature, full of confidence, smooth and composed, very polished. Ran the whole trip for 1HR, 52 minutes, 55 seconds. One full takeover to help it merge in. One accidental, grab without intent. Both were entirely voluntary. And so it drove back to me just like that.
So besides product form converging, When we reach late mass stage, one thing users care deeply about is safety. Let all recall back around 2020 when we were still in early follower stages. I saw all major car news headlines. Big traffic spikes were tied to tech and idea, innovations mostly. Either these new species, flagship stores, or the bus, battery swap station. Today, it's advanced voice interaction, multi-turn chassis tomorrow, top-tier ADAS that can conquer 3,000 kilometers trips. The day after, an auto startup's founder makes bold remarks that shake the industry up again. Then the day after, it's quad motor solution, super fast charging, autonomous taxi, and more. Everything's all about the new. People are so eager now. This feels unlike the past in every way. But by 2025, you'll find everything's changed. Today, when I open Toutiao in red, no-TOC car world headlines have turned to, oh, there was a big accident here, and oh, another one there. There's a recall there. Folks are worried about the quality. The founders of this company are familiar faces, people who've been building cars for decades, even centuries. Now, they start to say car firms must be solid, must prioritize safety. Then there were lots of likes and many comments below. The same content 5 years ago would have been mocked outright, only if you were old-fashioned enough to talk up safety and quality in the media. This shows the winds changed, the crowd changed, needs changed, just as the diffusion of innovations predicted. Mainstream mass users in this new phase are now the driving force. Well, I saw this 2 months ago, the 08 from Lynk & Co. second, and before most regular users did, Back then, I went to Hangzhou Bay, checked out their design review room at the R&D lab. Along with some other car industry friends, we signed NDAs to give them some feedback and suggestions. To be honest, my first impression was bad. I felt these cars' tweaks leaned a bit too safe, a tad too close to the mainstream. Look at the front end. They added some horizontal lines, and some areas got that metallic sheen feel. So the vibe feels like it's catering to old-school traditional users. The edge, the boldness, the pure EV flare dot is down by 10%. The feel of traditional gas cars became 10% more prominent, I think. The seat's interior is the same. See the patterns they used. The stitching they added these details differ from the first Lynk 08. 08 is also leaning a bit more toward the mainstream. The norm, the old Lynk & Co. I used to know was super trendy, super cool. That Lynk & Co. of yore, so stylish and so damn cool back then. The first concept car launched in Germany sparked massive online buzz, stirred up quite a storm, and caused much controversy. That's the Lynk & Company. And where's that Lynk & Co. that pushed wrong culture, doing things all out of the box and against the norm? Where'd it go? My first feeling was disappointment and regret. But later, once I calmed down, I began to understand, especially after folks from the company gave some explanations. Trends are nice, but you can't live on trends alone, right? If these brands' goal today is to stay upscale, yet reach a broader audience, cars like the Lynk & Co. 08, which are pillars of the lineup, can't really afford to be too wild. He must find a balance between trends and the mainstream demand. Try to cater to mainstream users in the diffusion of innovations phase, where 68% of users in this stage are calling out for what they want. So overall, my reading is that this second Lynk & Co. 08, with all its facelift moves, feels like a wayward son turning back, trying hard to give mainstream users a bit more sense of security. Like this powertrain keeps the EMP system. EMP means want gas, you get gas. Want electric, you get that. 1000 km range, no range anxiety, gives solid peace of mind. Hangzhou-based self-made golden brick battery.it as top feature is safety, right from the start. This ADAS 千里好汉 from my test drive today is improved vastly. The main trait of the experience, safety I'd say, is key. In many cases where it's a close call, when situations get pretty complex, the system won't make bold decisions for you. It'll opt to go just a bit slower. If you can't wait any longer, just take control.
Let us see if you can change lanes now, since a lane change is needed. Alright, that counts as one takeover to make the lane change work.
Let us check his car's OS, the second Flymoto. This car computer is already quite polished and pretty thorough, but it still goes out of its way to cater to all users' varied preferences. It supports Apple CarPlay, so whether you use Xiaomi, Huawei, or any other Android phone brand, it can link your phone to the car system. This universality aims to give you a sense of calm and assurance. Vehicle safety goes without saying. It's always had Volvo's safety DNA. Lynk & Co 08 recently launched in Europe and did safety crash tests, scoring a record for its segment there. By the way, do you know the base price of this car in Europe? It's 55,000 euros, which is about 400,000 yuan in RMB roughly.
Just before this video was posted, I saw some data day 30 since Gen 3 Lynk & Co 08 EMP's launch. 10,000 cars rolled off the factory line already, rushing to be delivered nationwide. This once again proves the real-world value of diffusion of innovations.